NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine, thanks so much for joining us today on what is a very historic moment, not just for NASA and SpaceX, but for the country. Carl just mentioned first attempted orbital human space flight from U.S. soil in almost a decade, but also the first time a private space company has been involved in attempting to launch humans to orbit. It really represents a paradigm shift for NASA from operator to customer. How does this redefine American priorities in space, and what does it mean for the agency?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. We are launching a new era in human spaceflight. So there's a number of milestones that are being achieved here. We are launching American astronauts on American rockets from American soil for the first time since the retirement of the space shuttles back in 2011. But as you said, we're doing it differently than we've ever done it before. NASA is not purchasing, owning, and operating this vehicle. We have partnered with commercial industry to buy a service to deliver our astronauts to the International Space Station. NASA wants to be a customer. We want to be one customer of many customers in a robust commercial marketplace for human spaceflight. But we also want to see numerous providers that are competing against each other on cost and innovation. The goal being we need to drive down costs and increase access to space.
All right, I want to dig into that a little bit more, but first I'm just looking at the weather behind you. You're joining us from Kennedy Space Center right now, where this launch is currently scheduled to happen a few minutes after 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Later today, I think you just put out updated conditions, looking at about 50% possibility today. We've got this tropical storm that's brewing off the coast of the Carolinas right now. How likely is this to happen today versus getting scrubbed? When do you have to make that call?
I think we are more likely to launch than not launch. Right now, we are pressurizing the helium tanks, which is how we pressurize the fuel, and all of that is underway. We're going to have a weather update here as soon as I get off this interview, and we're going to make another assessment. But right now, we are go for launch, and we are planning to launch.
Okay, we're looking forward to that then. Just to go back to this idea of costs, this mission's called Demo 2. Technically, it's the final test, potentially the final test for SpaceX before its Crew Dragon capsule gets certified for regular use by NASA. But the astronauts, Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, that are going up are actually going to be doing an extended stay at the International Space Station, anywhere from 1 to 4 months. What is the cost to do this mission, and how does it speak to savings that are baked into having a public-private partnership like this?
That's a great question. This mission represents the final test flight. This is an end-to-end test flight. We cannot forget this is a test flight. But this is the final test flight in a $3.5 billion investment by NASA to get to this point where we are ready to launch American astronauts from American soil yet again. Of course, part of that contract is 6 launches in what we call, crew launches. And then beyond that, it's going to be negotiable. And it's that element when we get into negotiating where we have numerous providers that are competing on cost and innovation and safety. That's where we're going to get the significant cost savings. But right now, we are buying access to the International Space Station, and we've been doing this for 9 years. We've been buying access from the Russians. They're now charging us about $90 million per seat. We believe we're going to be significantly less than that going forward, and we're going to be spending the money right here in the United States of America.